From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Friday, December 12th, 2025.
I'm Andrew Burkle with the Free Press Sports Department. And what a few days it has been for Michigan football. Head coach Sherrone Moore was fired on Wednesday, with the university saying it found evidence that Moore had an inappropriate relationship with the staffer. Later Wednesday, it was reported that Saline Police had detained Moore earlier that day. He was then taken to Pittsfield Township Police and eventually the Washtenaw County Jail, where he was being held for an assault investigation. As of Thursday afternoon, he was still in the jail, waiting to be arraigned, likely coming on Friday. As everyone waited for official charges to potentially drop, more and more news just kept trickling out. Some of it meeting our reporting standards, some of it far from it, just pure gossip. One angle that was unavoidable, though, was the timeline for when Moore was fired and how it happened. NBC Sports' Nicole Auerbach reported Thursday that Michigan Athletic Director Warde Manuel fired Moore alone, without any human resources reps or security in the room. That, according to Auerbach, also happened with Michigan previously knowing before Wednesday's firing that Moore was struggling with mental health issues. Exactly what happened after that and how Moore ended up in custody, we're still trying to figure out. It should be another busy day on Friday, with Moore's arraignment likely set to be on the docket in the coming hours. We'll keep you updated at freep.com, freep.com/sports, and at all of our social media channels, so be sure to check in throughout the day.
I'm Adrienne Roberts reporting for the Detroit Free Press. Some of the first official government data that indicates the health of Michigan's economy, which has been delayed for months because of the government shutdown, was released on December 10th. A report with Michigan's unemployment rate for September was released, and it shows the state's jobless rate declining slightly compared with August, but it is higher than the U.S. rate of 4.4%. Michigan's unemployment rate dropped to 5.1% in September, down from 5.2% in August, and level with the state's jobless rate in September 2024. Now, this decline can be attributed to fewer people working or looking for work. Some data from the federal government shutdown period will never be released. The Michigan Department of Technology, Management, and Budget said data for Michigan's unemployment rate in October has been canceled.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Keith Matheny. As problems mount from the southern Lower Peninsula's rising population of white-tailed deer, some state lawmakers are proposing to lift bans on baiting deer and elk during hunting seasons. But that's putting them at odds with the state's hunting regulators, the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. State Representative Jennifer Wirtz, a Republican from Quincy, is sponsoring the bill to lift the baiting ban for deer and elk during their hunting seasons. She cited the rising population of deer in southern Michigan, driven in part by a decline in participation in hunting from its booming days of the 1990s, as hunters age out of the activity and not enough young people take their place. Michigan's statewide hunting harvest in 2024, about 288,000 deer, is less than half the number harvested in the 90s. It all adds up to a rising deer population, increased crop damage in farmers' fields. Deer are the most expensive farm pest in the state, Wirtz said, and nearly 60,000 car deer accidents in Michigan per year. The State Natural Resources Commission, a 7-member public body appointed by the governor and constitutionally tasked with regulating hunting and fishing, enacted a Lower Peninsula-wide baiting ban in 2019 to help stop the spread of communicable diseases among the wild deer, such as chronic wasting disease and bovine tuberculosis. The DNR stated its opposition to the bill, stating that it sees it as attempting to supersede the NRC's authority to regulate hunting. The bill remains pending in the House Committee on Natural Resources and Tourism.
Hey there, everybody. This is Omari Sanko for the Second, Pistons beat writer for the Detroit Free Press. On this week's episode of our podcast, The Pistons Post, Bryce Simon and I were joined by friend of the pod, Bass Jackson, to discuss what we like about their 19-5 start and what we're concerned about. Here's a quick snippet of our conversation.
Laz, give us our, the mile-high view, the airplane view, whatever you want to say it. 24 games in, what are your thoughts?
This team, the winning streak was huge, and I think gave them a lot of proof of concept. This team still has played and won a lot of close games, but the sign of like a truly elite team like your Oklahoma City Thunder is that you're not playing close games. You're winning by 15 every night, and this team isn't quite there yet. And so that is the thing. That is one of the things I am keeping my eye on with this team as we move into like the end of December, the beginning of January. Can this team like get out of some of these close games? Can they stop letting teams back into games in the second half? Or can they stop playing from behind to catch some teams that perhaps that they on paper are like better than? and from a record perspective are better than. That's something I'd like to just keep my eye on especially as we got this West Coast trip coming up.
You can hear that full conversation in this week's episode of The Pistons Post, which is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, you can find our latest coverage on freep.com/sports.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thank you for listening. Have a great weekend, and you'll hear more from us Monday.